Right now, millions of Americans are counting on Social Security to cover their essential expenses. But what most people don't realize is that 2026 is bringing significant changes to how much you'll actually receive each month. The Social Security Administration has just announced the official cost of living adjustment, and the numbers are finally here. But here's what's critical. Not everyone will see the same increase, and understanding exactly where you fall could mean hundreds of extra dollars in your pocket every single month. The truth is, your benefit amount depends on several key factors that the government uses to calculate your payment. And if you don't know these details, you could be leaving money on the table. We're talking about your work history, your claiming age, and even your spouse's earnings. All of these play a direct role in determining your 2026 benefit. Today, we're breaking down exactly who qualifies for the maximum increase, what the average retiree can expect to receive, and the specific eligibility requirements you need to meet. This isn't speculation. These are the official figures that will impact your financial security starting January 2026. Let me start by telling you something that's going to sound simple, but it's absolutely essential to understand. Social Security isn't just a government program that sends you a check every month. It's actually a carefully calculated system that looks at your entire working life and makes decisions based on dozens of different factors. When we talk about the 2026 benefit increase, we're really talking about how the government has decided to adjust these payments to keep pace with the rising cost of everything you buy, from groceries to prescription medications. The official term for this is the cost of living adjustment, and every single year, the Social Security Administration sits down and runs the numbers to figure out exactly how much more money beneficiaries need to maintain their purchasing power. Now here's where things get really interesting. And this is something that catches a lot of people off guard. The 2026 increase isn't just one flat number that applies to everyone across the board. What you're going to see in your bank account depends entirely on what you're already receiving right now. Think of it this way. If you're currently getting $1,200 a month, your increase is going to be calculated as a percentage of that $1,200. But if your neighbor is receiving $3,000 a month because they waited until age 70 to claim their benefits and had higher lifetime earnings, well, their increase is going to be calculated on that higher base amount. This means that two people living right next door to each other could see very different dollar amounts added to their monthly checks, even though the percentage increase is exactly the same for both of them. The Social Security Administration determines this percentage by looking at something called the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. I know that sounds like a mouthful, but stay with me here because this is actually fascinating when you break it down. Every quarter of the year, the government tracks how much typical American workers are spending on everyday items. They look at food costs, housing expenses, transportation, medical care, clothing, and dozens of other categories. Then they compare these numbers to what those same items cost the year before. If prices have gone up, Social Security benefits need to go up too, so that retirees don't lose their ability to afford the basics. The calculation happens automatically, and it's based on hard data, not political decisions or government discretion. For 2026, the numbers have been crunched, and the official COLA has been announced. What we're seeing is an adjustment that reflects the economic conditions of the past year, taking into account inflation rates, price increases, and the overall cost of maintaining a household. The exact percentage varies from year to year. Some years it's been as high as 8 or 9% when inflation was really running hot, and other years it's been closer to 1 or 2% when the economy was more stable. The important thing to understand is that this isn't free money that the government is just handing out. This is an adjustment designed to protect the value of the benefits you've already earned through decades of paying into the system with every single paycheck you received during your working years. Let's talk about who actually qualifies for these increases, because this is where a lot of confusion comes into play. If you're currently receiving Social Security retirement benefits, you're automatically going to see this adjustment. You don't need to apply for it, you don't need to call anyone, and you don't need to fill out any paperwork. The Social Security Administration is going to calculate your new amount and start paying it to you beginning in January 2026. The same goes for people receiving Social Security disability insurance. which is the program for workers who became disabled before reaching retirement age. Survivors who are receiving benefits based on a deceased spouse's or parent's work record will also see the adjustment applied to their payments. And here's something that surprises a lot of people. If you're receiving supplemental security income, which is a needs-based program for people with very limited income and resources, you're also going to see an increase, although the SSI program has slightly different rules and timing. Now, I want to address something that causes a tremendous amount of confusion, and that's the difference between the percentage increase and the actual dollar amount you'll receive. When you hear that the COLA is, say, 3.2%, that percentage gets applied to your current benefit amount. So if you're receiving $2,000 a month right now, a 3.2% increase would give you an additional $64 per month. But if you're receiving the maximum benefit amount because you had very high earnings throughout your career and you waited until age 70 to start collecting, you might be getting close to $4,000 a month, and that same 3.2% would give you about $128 extra each month. Both people got the same percentage increase, but the person with the higher base benefit sees a bigger dollar increase. This is why it's so important to understand your own specific situation, rather than just hearing a general number and assuming that's what you'll get. The maximum benefit amount is another topic that deserves some serious attention here. There are people out there who qualified for the absolute highest Social Security payment possible, and these are individuals who met several very specific criteria throughout their entire working lives. First, they had to earn at or above the maximum taxable earnings limit for at least 35 years. This earnings limit changes every year, but it's the maximum amount of income on which you pay Social Security taxes. In recent years, it's been somewhere around $160,000. If you earned more than that in a given year, you still only paid Social Security taxes on income up to that limit. Second, these maximum benefit recipients had to wait until age 70 to start claiming their benefits, which gave them delayed retirement credits that increased their monthly payment by 8% for every year they waited past their full retirement age. When you combine maximum earnings with delayed claiming, you end up with the highest possible benefit, and the 2026 COLA will be applied to that maximum amount. But here's the reality that most people need to hear. Very few Americans actually receive that maximum benefit. The average Social Security retirement benefit is significantly lower, usually somewhere in the range of $1,700 to $1,900 per month, depending on the year we're looking at. This average reflects the fact that most workers had periods of unemployment, years when they earned less than the maximum, or times when they took breaks from the workforce to raise children or deal with health issues. Some people also claimed their benefits before reaching full retirement age, which permanently reduced their monthly payment. All of these factors come together to determine what you receive, and the 2026 increase gets applied to whatever your personal benefit amount happens to be. One of the most important things to understand about qualifying for Social Security benefits in general is the concept of work credits. You earn these credits by working and paying Social Security taxes, and you need a total of 40 credits to qualify for retirement benefits. Most people earn 4 credits per year by working a regular job, so 40 credits equals about 10 years of work. Once you've earned those 40 credits, you're eligible to receive retirement benefits once you reach age 62, which is the earliest claiming age. However, claiming at 62 means accepting a permanently reduced benefit compared to what you'd get if you waited until your full retirement age, which is somewhere between 66 and 67, depending on the year you were born. The longer you wait, up to age 70, the higher your monthly benefit becomes. And no matter when you claimed your benefits originally, you'll receive the 2026 COLA adjustment on top of whatever amount you're currently getting. Spousal benefits are another crucial piece of this puzzle that affects millions of Americans. If you're married to someone who qualifies for Social Security, you may be eligible to receive benefits based on their work record, even if you never worked outside the home or didn't earn enough credits on your own. The spousal benefit can be up to 50% of your spouse's full retirement age benefit amount, and it's designed to help couples maintain a reasonable standard of living throughout retirement. If you're receiving spousal benefits, The 2026 COLA will apply to your payment just like it does for everyone else. The same principle applies to divorced spouses who were married for at least 10 years. They can still claim benefits based on their ex-spouse's work record without affecting what the ex-spouse receives, and these benefits will also see the annual cost of living adjustment. Survivor benefits deserve special attention because they work a little differently and can actually provide a higher payment than spousal benefits did during the marriage. When someone who was receiving Social Security passes away, their surviving spouse may be eligible to receive the full amount that the deceased spouse was getting, rather than just half. This means that if your spouse was receiving $3,000 a month in Social Security benefits and they pass away, you could potentially receive that entire $3,000 as a survivor benefit, assuming you've reached full retirement age. Younger survivors face some reductions, and there are specific rules about remarriage and claiming ages. But the key point here is that survivor benefits also receive the annual COLA adjustment. This is particularly important for widows and widowers who are often living on a single income and counting on Social Security to cover their basic expenses. Disability benefits through Social Security. Disability insurance follow the same COLA schedule as retirement benefits. If you qualified for disability benefits because a medical condition prevents you from working, you're going to see the 2026 increase applied to your monthly payment. The qualification process for disability benefits is notoriously strict and requires extensive medical documentation, proving that you cannot perform any substantial gainful activity. But once you're approved, you receive COLA adjustments every year, just like retirement beneficiaries do. When you reach your full retirement age, your disability benefits automatically convert to retirement benefits at the same dollar amount, and you continue receiving annual increases from that point forward. The timing of when you'll actually see this money in your account is something else that's worth discussing. Social Security benefits are paid on a specific schedule based on your birth date. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th of the month, you get paid on the second Wednesday. If you were born between the 11th and the 20th, you get paid on the third Wednesday. And if you were born between the 21st and the 31st, you get paid on the fourth Wednesday. There are some exceptions for people who started receiving benefits before a certain year, and those individuals get paid on the third of every month. The 2026 increase will show up in your January payment, which for most people actually arrives in late January or very early February, depending on your payment schedule. You should receive a notice from the Social Security Administration in December showing your new benefit amount so you can plan accordingly. One thing that often reduces the excitement about the COLA increase is the Medicare Part B premium, which gets deducted directly from your Social Security check if you're enrolled in Medicare. Every year, Medicare announces its premium for the following year, and unfortunately, these premiums often increase at the same time that Social Security benefits go up. Sometimes the Medicare premium increase eats up a significant portion of the Social Security COLA, leaving beneficiaries with only a modest net increase in their actual take-home payment. The hold harmless provision protects most people from having their Social Security payment reduced due to Medicare premium increases, but it doesn't prevent the premium from consuming most or all of your COLA in some years. This is just the reality of how these two programs interact, and it's something you need to factor into your financial planning. Understanding all of this information puts you in a much stronger position to make informed decisions about your retirement and your finances. The 2026 benefit increase is coming automatically, but knowing exactly how it works, who qualifies, and what factors determine your specific payment amount helps you plan for the future and make the most of the benefits you've earned through a lifetime of work and contributions to the system.